Hold on. Marcus, you don't take your foot outside and drill that ball in the concrete.
Welcome to All Ball. Format unique, all access for all y'all. What the spill like? Back full of elite athletes that wanna teach and it speaks to the streets, so it feel right. Marcus Liberty, a legend on and off the court to give you what you need. Robert Reed is your co-host. Go. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow like a crossover. Never know what might fall through this bitch tomorrow. So, All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All I know is All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All Ball Chicago. All I know is All Ball Chicago.
Welcome to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All American, your host, Marcus, living in the building. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, my beautiful people?
Allow me to clear my throat.
man, it's all
What's
good.
up, Marcus?
Man, I've been screaming at them kids, man, for a while now, so I lost my voice, man, a little bit.
You don't know why you ain't using the culture, man. Why you don't use the culture?
I forgot about the culture.
Come on, man. You know the culture in there for you. You were the first one to bust him out, man.
Yeah, I forgot about it, man. That's my
and you
fault.
know your voice. You in the gym 24/7, Doc Lear.
My voice do not carry. You know,
it don't, man. You got that smooth, berry white voice as it is, bro. You need the culture, man. I can imagine living in school back in the day, yo.
Oh man, I ain't Mac. I didn't know how to do that stuff, man.
They came to you, Liv. You ain't had to do that, right?
No, man. It's just, man. I was just being me, man.
That's what's up, bro. But man, we got a lot going on, man. We ain't been on in a while, man.
I know.
It's been the craziest tournament ever, Liv.
Yes.
No, and I'm gonna say this to you, man. I wish Neff would have came back one more year watching all these old ass players in there. I would have said Javon would have towed college up. You know, he had a great G League season. He had a great G League season. But can you imagine if Javon would have went back to college this year? He'd have averaged 40.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think about the 40 or whatever he would average. I just think it's changing back to, you know, where it used to be, you know, when I was playing, you know, it wasn't too many people leaving early. You know, they were staying 3 to 4 years and playing and then still getting drafted. See, what happened was, I think with a lot of kids, they didn't know what was going to happen. So when they started implementing, you know, being this age limit and you can be 18 and 19 years old to go to the league. Now the older guys who were seniors was like, man, it's going to knock me out the box. You know, so, but I think it's getting back to, you know, because you see maturity, you know, you see older players getting it done in college and those older players can help you at the next level in the NBA as well.
I think it's going to be a spillover too, man, because remember, you think about the last few world champions, they were all older teams. Right. So the young guys are just not getting it done. And another thing that they alluded to during one of the conversations, they said there are no McDonald All Americans in this Final Four, and there are no true freshmen in this Final Four. The true freshman is obsolete nowadays, man. Is that where we at?
I wouldn't say that, because you're still gonna have some special freshmen that can come in right away and produce and get you some, you know, some wins. But I think you need a mixture. I think you need a mixture of, you know, the older players and a couple of those, you know, elite type players to get you over the hump sometime. But we saw that you don't have to be, you know, that player, meaning like a 5-star or McDonald All American to get it done either. You know, we saw the little kid from Kansas State do his thing.
Ooh, you know, man.
Go ahead.
No, okay. You had froze up. Hey, man, Mr. New York. I mean, the kid, man, he just had a flair for the moment. And, you know, he ran out of gas at the end of that last game. the world know who he is now. You know, I forget his name. Let me pull his name.
Marquise Noel.
Okay, Marquise Noel. Yeah, I mean 5'8" and just playing amongst the giants, man. You know, people not giving him a shot. They're like, oh, he's not gonna make it to the NBA. I'm like, bro, man, if I'm a general manager, I'm going to get that little tough dude, man. Because making plays is making plays. Would you agree?
Yeah. He's tough. He's tough, and you can see it, man. He wanted to will those guys to a win, man. And it's unfortunate they lost, but I think this year's NCAA tournament was exciting, and special. So I enjoyed watching it, man. And I think if he doesn't make it in the league, he's going to go overseas and make a ton of money because he's special. He's special, man.
Hey, Lee, what you think about the McDonald's game last night?
That was a special game too. Think about it. They was competing, man. They was competing.
Man, they was competing for real.
Yeah, they was competing, and
wasn't none of that let your man score stuff and go in and dunk the ball when you want to.
Yeah. It showed you, man, that I think this next generation of talent that's coming in, man, is all about the competing, and those boys competed yesterday in the McDonald All American game.
I know it made you proud, man, as a former McDonald All American. When y'all came around, y'all were cutting each other's head off out there, Liv. One of that pretty boy let me go dunk the ball. You was trying to catch somebody's stuff on the square, wasn't it?
Man, dude, we was competing, man. It didn't matter who was out there, but it's exciting to see, college, the way it's, the way guys are playing and competing, in college, and then, seeing the McDonald All American game last night, seeing that. I just hope that, the NBA will follow suit. But yeah, it was exciting though, Bob. It was.
You say you hope the NBA will follow suit, huh?
Yeah, we got some questions already. Mark, is your thoughts on Coleman Hawkins leaving Illinois? To me, he's not ready yet. He put his name in the draft. Just because he put his name in there doesn't mean, unless he signs with an agent, I think he can come back and return. A lot of kids just want to get some input. Kofi Coburn did it when his when his sophomore year, I think, was coming up, and he wanted to test the waters to see where he was at. He did it. So maybe Coleman Hawkins is doing the same thing. I don't know. I don't know him. He has a lot of talent. He does have a lot of talent, but it was some games that he didn't show up. And I think that's what a lot of the Illini fans are looking at, And yes, and then they did lose the other guard. They already lost what's the kid name? Clark, Scott Clark. I think they lost him early during the season. He transferred, and now they lost the guy who was backing him up, who became a starter, Epps. He put his name in the transfer portal. I think this is the norm. We have to get used to kids leaving, kids coming, so you can't get mad at, a school or a kid that gets a kid to leave and put his name in the transfer portal, but you getting somebody else from somebody else's school to come to your school. So you can't really get mad. I know fans want to get mad at kids leaving, but you actually going into the transfer portal and getting somebody, from a different school as well.
I just saw somebody post on Twitter, JUCO Advocate. They keep you up to date on all the new rule changes and all of that. Mm-hmm. And now the new rule going into next season is these schools are going to be on the hook to hold these kids. Once they give them a scholarship, they got to give those kids a scholarship. They can't run them out of these schools anymore. Did you know that? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, man, I read that the other day, man, and which is good. Because a lot of these kids, man, if they can't transfer, they don't have another school to go to. At least they can get their education, right?
Right. So who's coming up with that rule? The NCAA probably.
Well, they said it was a group of athletic directors sat down with the NCAA and put this new rule together, these new rules together. And also another rule is if you transfer from a JUCO, if you transfer from a D1 and went back to a JUCO, once you finish with that JUCO, if you go D1, you got to sit out. Man, it's a list, man. It's crazy. I was reading through it like, wow, a lot of these kids gonna be.
We'll have to talk about that on one of our shows about that part.
Yeah, man.
Because I got to dig deep into that before I start talking. But man, the NCAA tournament been crazy. Thoughts on the upsets: Purdue, Kansas, Houston, and Alabama losing the number 1 seeds. It really, to me, I mean, I know we all have to say that, but I don't think it was a clear-cut number 1. You get what I'm saying? The records, yeah, it looks good and all that, but this year I think it's set up to see what these guys can do if they do get the number 1 seed, right? But I didn't think none of those teams, was not beatable, So, it's sometimes when you get a number 1 seed, you're like, man, they're going to run the table, right? They're going to run the table. I didn't see that in these. I mean, I thought Houston maybe had a good chance, but I think they point guard Marcus Sasser wasn't fully healthy. So that gave me a little doubt on them. But Kansas and Purdue, the big fella, what's his name, Edey, the 7-footer. I can't think of his name. But anyway, the 7-footer that they have for Purdue, he is not mobile enough for me to really dominate a game like that. So you put him on the perimeter, put him in some screen and rolls, it's going to be hard for him to catch up with those little guards. So in Alabama, they had a young, talented player in Miller, but again, those are, unless you Purvis Ellis, when he came in as a freshman and took Louisville to the championship when he was a freshman, never nervous. I mean, right. that he wasn't that type of player to me, So yeah, that's what happened.
Let me ask you something, Lib. The foul call at the end of that game, Creighton.
He fouled him though.
He fouled him.
He did. He fouled him. He fouled him. But I don't know if I would have made that call. That's a tough one, man. Because
you played in a lot of games, Liv. I'm talking about elite games. Have you seen the referees make that call at the end of games?
That's why I said that's a tough one, man.
No,
because he didn't make the shot, right?
Right.
It would have still went into what, overtime, maybe.
Right.
He went up to hit 1 free throw, so it still would have probably went into overtime, And then you let them play, man. I always say let the players play. That was a questionable. I mean, he did have his hands on him. So when he went up to shoot the shot, so he made the call. The referee did make the call, and he had to live with it. And that's that young player for Creighton is a pretty doggone good player too. His brother plays in the league already. But yeah, it's a tough one, man. That was a tough one.
That was a tough one, man.
So
who we picking, man?
I actually like Miami. That's going to be a good game. Miami against UConn. Well, both of them. I mean, all four teams, man, that made it, they deserve it because they played their butts off, right, to get to where they were at. You got Miami against UConn, and then you have Florida Atlantic against San Diego State. So it can. I mean, it's who you like. I mean, I think Miami has the pieces, and I also think UConn has some good pieces. So I think whoever comes out of that side is going to probably win the national championship.
Said to say, Robert Reed, you think Brandon Miller had a ton of stress on him with the killings and him needing personal security because of death stress? I'm thinking of this stress level for an 18-year-old kid. Man, I tell you, man, I could not imagine being that young man, having been put in that situation. He really didn't have too much to do with it. Hats off to him, man. Marcus, put yourself in that situation when you was 18. You was the number 1 player in the country. You're getting caught in this situation. How do you overcome it?
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, you already have, the media already on you because of you're a special player. And now you get some of this off the court stuff that happened. It's added. added pressure, added stress. You know, you're trying to block it out. You don't know how to block it out. Me personally, I would have probably turned to basketball, you know, because to me, that's what gets me, you know, laser focused away from a lot of things. And he had a lot of pressure. People started talking about him coming in, being the number 2 player now in the lottery, you know, NBA lottery.
Oh, wow.
So that's another because they wasn't talking about him earlier like that, not going that high. So now everybody, and you see what he did. He didn't really perform. He shot the ball not well at all. And I think that added pressure on an 18-year-old. It showed us as fans, for one, and people who know the game, that you can see the pressure was getting to him. You know, the pressure was really getting to him.
I hope he can get through it. Ron, that was a good one, man. That was a good question, man. Because we have to understand, 18 years old, that's still a kid. That's still a kid. How about your boy you've been telling me about? Is that Milt Wagner's son?
Yeah, DJ.
You've been telling me about him, man, forever. You remember you told me about him 4 years ago. You were like, Bob, this boy gonna be the truth.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. He only was 6'2"?
I think he might be 6'3", 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, he was an MVP last night, and he just played with a lot of grit, man.
Oh, well, and he's got, you know, his grandfather played, his dad played, you know, he's the 3rd generation of, you know, the McDonald All American, you know, so it's special because he knew, you know, all of the things that his grandfather gave him and his dad gave him. He knew how to handle himself out there on that court, and he did it. I mean, he did it. They were competing though, man. That's why I said I love that McDonald All American game, man. Let's get to another question, and then we'll keep talking after that.
Okay. The women's tournament has been off the chain, y'all. Caitlin Clark been putting up numbers. She must see TV. And Dawn Staley, the new face of women coaching. She might be the new UConn. Hey, man, you talking right up Marcus Lane, because Marcus, he love the girls, boy. He love the girls. Caitlin Clark is just something special that I've never seen in the history of the game, man.
Yeah. She is definitely someone you want to watch. If you don't watch any basketball and you haven't watched any women's basketball, make sure you tune in, man, April the 1st, when South Carolina plays Iowa against Caitlin Clark. You're going to see some special stuff going on out there, man, because she shoots from the logo. She literally shoots from the logo. But not only that, she knows how to make passes like Magic Johnson. You know, so she is special, man. She's a special talent. And she said she wanted to get Iowa, you know, to the Final Four, and she did it. You know, she was speaking into existence and getting her girls to believe. So, man, make sure you watch the women. And definitely, I said this, Dawn Staley, she is about to be the face of women college basketball. And I think the guy over there at UConn, you know his name.
Gino.
What's his name? His name Gino. I think Gino's getting a little bit antsy over there. He's like, what's going on in South Carolina? Dawn Staley's getting all these elite players now, and she's getting the top 5-star girl basketball players to come over there and play. Yeah. You know something's about to happen. You know it. He sees it. He's finna dig.
He finna try to dig.
Oh man, you know they're about to dig.
Because this is first time not making it to the Final Four in what, 17 years?
Man, and it's a new sheriff in town. It's a new sheriff in town.
And evolution is good, man. That's all I can say. Like, you know, so many of these coaches have dominated the reign so long, you know. And it's good that Dawn Staley speaks to the voice of these young girls, man. All of them.
Yeah, especially our Black, you know, females that want an opportunity to play basketball for a legendary player. Now she's becoming a legendary coach in Dawn Staley. So shout out to South Carolina for giving her an opportunity to coach, for one, right? And then bringing in young girls to compete at a high level and win championships while doing it, you know. So
who knew though? Who knew that Dawn Staley was going to do this though?
I mean,
who knew?
Only she did. I mean, she believed in herself from day one. Think about that, Bob. She believed in herself from day one and that's all it takes. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
all it takes. If you believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's about
Yeah.
what do you think, And I think she definitely took a look in the mirror and said, you know what, I can do this, and I'm gonna do it.
Right. And she was a
And
hell of a player. So rarely ever do you see coaches carry over from being a hell of a player, to being great coaches. So
right,
kudos to Dawn Staley. Kudos to Kaylin. Is
right.
Bronny James a little overrated? I know some scared to say this. What do y'all think? You know what? I was just joking last night when I put up a post last night. If Bron get Bronny to the league off of what I just seen, he over Michael, cuz I don't know. But I think Bronny is a good basketball player. And I really think that he should do 1 year of college or 2 years of college to get a little bit more aggressive and stronger. What do you think,
Well,
Lid?
well, it's like what people been saying all along. His game has progressed, right? I mean, he's moving up each level. Freshman, he was this. Now sophomore, junior, senior. I mean, he became a McDonald All American. He was not on anybody's radar as far as being that type of player. So he worked his butt off.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can say, he can shoot the basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
definitely can shoot the basketball. Now, is he ready for the NBA? A lot of players are not, right? A lot
Right.
of players. It's just because he's LeBron James' son that everybody's going to be looking at him real closely, right? So if he was somebody else and he was shooting and doing all those things, people wouldn't even be talking about that, right? They'll be like, well, another kid went to the league at 19 years old, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So do
Mm-hmm.
I think he's ready for the NBA right now? No. But the NBA always drafts off of what? Potential.
Potential.
So
So he's
I
definitely ready then. I tell you what, he got some hops now.
all right, let's get Hoop Baller Scoop. Somebody said Hoop Baller Scoop had a question, so let's see. Here we go.
This is a must convo. I want both of y'all thoughts. Okay, y'all know the Andrew Wiggins story and why he's gone right. And his girl went on Twitter to do some damage control. But my question is, don't dudes, girls cheat on them all the time, and you got to go back to work. You know what? That story haven't been confirmed, man. That story about him and his wife, that haven't been confirmed. That's just a
Right.
rumor mill, man. Because she did go to Twitter, and I saw that.
Yeah.
She's basically saying, "Come on, man. I just think sometimes his people privacy,
Right.
because
Right.
everybody's so nosy with social media. Everybody want to know. You know what I'm saying?
So
There's no
people
more
out there,
privacy.
so people out there be trolling.
Yeah, man. So I
trolling.
I can't speak on that one right there. Who
But
ball is
even
scoop, man?
to even answer the question in general, no, I don't think everybody women cheat on them at all. There's some faithful people out there. Now, if she did, now I'm just saying, if she did do that, then she was wrong. But yes, he should move on, right? He should move on because he do have a job, and his job is to go out there and play basketball and get some wins and get to the championship again. So the Golden State Warriors can do that. So if that's the case, maybe if that's the case, maybe he's mentally really like not there. Then he should just
Right,
take the whole year off, right? He should
right.
just take the whole, because we don't know, man, really uh, what the situation is. But
Mm-hmm.
if it is that, and if it's messing his mind up like that, then he needs to go seek help and just take the whole year off. The rest of the season, not the whole year, but the rest of the season, because I think he did play some games early on in the season. Uh, if that's the case, you know,
Right.
if not, if it's something else, related to his family, then we have to respect his privacy and move on and quit trying to dig in and try to figure out what's really going on with it. So that's just
Yeah.
my input.
I agree 1,000%. I mean, hey man, that's his personal life. And I love Wiggins, man. He's one of my favorite players. And I wish him well. I wish
Right.
he wish him well. Kevin Durant returns to the Suns tonight. Are they the favorite to win it all with KD? And is it even enough time to jail? Uh, Mr. Thompson, Deroney Thompson. I tell you what, man. You put a KD with Devin Booker.
Mm,
A healthy KD now. We talking about playoff KD and a
right.
playoff Kevin and Devin Booker. They was one player short these last couple of years. I don't see a team beating them.
Man,
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
you know, man, how I feel about KD, man.
AK-47, boy.
AK-47, man. Hey, he's a special player, man. And they've been practicing together. Maybe they didn't have a lot of game experience, at the time, but KD is a professional, right? Devin
Right.
Booker is a professional. They gonna do what they do best, regardless if the chemistry's not there or not right now. They gonna do what they do best, which is what? Put that ball in the hole. They're gonna put that ball in the hole. Trust me. And a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
it's gonna
teams know
open
that.
it up for Aiden, man. Aiden now he gonna be able to operate solo. He's gonna be by himself.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like
teams
who you
worried.
gonna guard?
There's a lot of teams scared, Bob. I'm
A
telling
lot
you.
of teams are worried, man.
Yeah.
And I was looking at Golden State the other night, and I was like, man, this team is really tough. But then I was just looking at the fact that they don't have Wiggins, so I don't think that they can beat Phoenix without Wiggins.
Well, look what somebody just posted. They talking about he's close to returning.
Ah, okay.
So Miles, so Mike's hoop page says that Steve Kerr says he's close to returning. So maybe something is in the works that he's gonna be coming back soon.
Man,
hopefully he gets some.
I'm so glad Steve Kerr is a player's coach. He always look out for his players, don't he, Lynn? I mean, he don't let nobody drag his locker room through the trenches. He keep everything in house. And even when Draymond did what he did to the young kid Pope, he didn't let that thing linger.
Right.
Steve Kerr has just been the ultimate players coach over there, him and his staff, man. But they're not gonna win it this year, though. There's too many other teams, man. I think Milwaukee and Boston gonna end up beating up on each other over there.
Wow.
Did y'all see Pat Bev do Bron the other day? Yeah, I saw that.
No, that was funny. That was funny.
And since Pat Bev been in Chicago, he has made the Chicago Bulls the best defensive team in the league.
Wow.
You see I should say Adam Levine. Adam Levine, the singer. Zach Levine's numbers have went up and increased drastically since Pat Bev came, because they said Pat Bev came over here and told Adam Levine they do not pay you to pass the ball. They pay you to shoot the damn ball. But when you got a guy in your locker room like that, Liv, it's like he came to Chicago and hit a jolt. Like, it helped us big time. And I know a lot of other guys' minutes are struggling since he's been here. But hey, they was going to blow the ship up. I didn't think Pat Bev would be the big turnaround for Chicago like he was, though.
No, but I think that's what Chicago needed. A guy with a voice like in the locker room, because they already said both of the leaders were quiet. Zach LaVine and DeRozan, they're quiet, but they know how to play the game, but they're quiet. So I think you need that type of present in the locker room, and I think that's what he gave him. And then how he do what he do on the court. Yeah, he's gonna talk. He talking to the fans. He talking to the people on the front row. He talking to the guy behind who's calling the game. I mean,
which one of them NBA players was teasing him? LeBron and somebody said they can't believe Pat Bev averaged 40 in high school. It was a running joke. One of them said that. I think it might have been who's the guy we got here with Levine? I lost his name, but anyway, he's supposed to have been teasing Pat Bev like, "Boy, you averaged 40 in high school," because he'd been chipping paint lately. But he came to Chicago and got a rebirth, man. So shout out to Pat Bev, man. Give us 5 more years.
And I don't think we should exaggerate with that. I don't think he averaged 40, but he averaged a whole lot of points in high school.
Okay.
You know, so I don't want us to the people go back and look it up and say he had some games. Maybe he had some 40-point games, but I don't think he averaged 40, you know, in high school.
Right.
So let's not get that twisted, man. But we got another one. Let's see. Man.
LeBron James came back and messed up the Lakers flow. So LeBron got to tone it down instead of holding the ball too much. Hey, man. Hey, brother. I knew when Bron came back that ball was going to stick, man. Bron has not figured it out yet that everybody else is professionals too. Move the ball, LeBron. We knew when he came back that ball was going to stick. Damn, Bron. And that's my boy, man. But he the ultimate ball stopper. Him and Adrian Danny, they just want to hold it and finesse it and just
Hey, that's a good one, though, D. Thompson. That was a good one, man, because we, as like people who enjoy watching the game, we can see it, and people know the game knows if you hold the ball too long, the other players are just watching. You know, they're not in the right position to get rebounds. They just all looking just like a fan would be looking. Right.
Yeah.
So if you get the ball movement, and the ball comes back to you off the movement, then yeah, let's break the defense down that way. But we just watching you just go between your legs, looking, and then all of a sudden you want to make something happen. That messes up the chemistry of games.
Mm-hmm. I knew, you know what? I knew when he came back, people were gonna say that if they lost. I knew it. Right. Do you think it's time for Bron to hang it up though?
You know what? He can be what my man was doing if he wants to, because he didn't got the record right now, right? The scoring title, meaning the most points in NBA history. Right. He has that record, right?
Yeah.
And if he goes and do what my man did at Miami, Haslem, be a mentor, be somebody that's, you know, on the bench explaining. You could be like a player coach on the bench, getting in players' ears, talking to them, letting them know that you can, you know, be great if you do this, or, you know, get in their ear, man. Right. Be a role model.
Be happy.
Yeah. You know, so you know, I like LeBron James. I won't hate on LeBron James because he is a special basketball player. But it's a time and a place when you say, man, you know what, I gave it my all, and it's time for me to just, you know, step away. But people said there's rumors going out around that he wants to. These could be rumors. They said he wants to play with his son, and there's nothing wrong with that.
You're gonna have to wait another 4 years.
You're gonna have to wait 4 years. I don't know, Bob. You know how this stuff goes, man. You never know. You never know.
And he might be in that damn league this year, won't he?
You never know.
Bro, I got that juice.
He hasn't committed to a college yet.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't.
He's gonna go to one of the McKnight leagues. But what about the kid? They set up for the 3 last night, and you know what? I screenshot it. I videotaped the part of the segment of the McDonald game last night because the lady was interviewing the kid. Wasn't named Chet something.
He's the one who shot that long 3 at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Duke is recruiting him, and he committed to Duke. You know how many followers he got on TikTok? 8 million. 8 million. Yeah. So the commentator said it. She says, you're going to bring all those 8 million fans over to Duke with you. And it made me think about what you always said.
Yeah.
These kids need to get their social media up because these schools are recruiting from your social media.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob, think about this, though. These kids in this generation, the kids in this generation who has all those big followings, you need to go get you someone to help you manage this, because you can turn this into an empire, right? Because if you have that many followers, they're going to start purchasing things from you. They're going to start. So whatever he needs to do, he needs to set it up. Now I'm hoping he did, you know, already that he has somebody that can, you know, that he trusts, that he can handle some of this off the court things that's about to happen for him. because he can make a whole lot of money by doing deals with the university, right? Saying whatever being sold with me on it or my name, I need to get a cut of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think he should start doing that now. All right, let's see. Oh, somebody got something. I don't know. What's this? Who ball a scoop?
Y'all, Chicago boy did 2 interviews this week. One with Cornbread Maxwell and said Jordan went to David Stern a few times about them. Then on All the Smoke yesterday said he wants a public sorry to him. I'm like, Isaiah Thomas, just say no more Jordan questions. You know, who ball a scoop? That situation between Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan would never, ever, ever subside. Because Michael's not budging. You wouldn't even hear Michael. You don't even hear Michael even talk about it.
Right.
Do Michael say anybody's name? Michael don't do that. Mike ain't thinking about nobody, Liv.
Mike trying to sell that team.
Yeah. He done had it for what? About 15 years? How long
Yeah, I think Mike about to sell that team. So that's what Mike trying to do. Mike ain't playing no more. Isaiah is not playing no more. I don't know, man, what is all about.
How long have Michael had the Charlotte Bobcats?
You know, so I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I think they both, you know, I think Isaiah, like you said, should just leave it alone, man, and just move on. But it's hard when you going on these podcasts and talking and people asking questions about what you think and why and this and that. I think it's hard, you know, for people to stop, you know, asking those questions, because some of those people don't like Michael Jordan anyway. So they like to hear, you know, these.
They want to hear that.
People bickering back and forth amongst each other, man. So I think we just should leave it alone, man. Leave it alone and move on. So who you think?
Mike, he not trying to sell the whole team. He just trying to sell a stake of it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead now. You say who?
So who do you think is going to win the women's Final Four, the championship, the NCAA championship?
I'm gonna have to go with South Carolina, man.
You going with South Carolina?
I have to.
You going with South Carolina?
I got to go with Dawn Staley. This will be back to back, won't it?
And you know, I'm riding with him too. So I'm riding with him too.
It's back to back, man.
I just love what she's all about, man. Like the way she carries herself, the way she after games, she be over there with the band, directing the band. I mean, she's just all in, man. She's all in. So when I see a coach doing that, man, and crying when her players are being interviewed, it's meaning that she is a part of, you know, what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go. And there's a lot of coaches that's not like that, man. They don't think like that. No, Caitlin Clark. He said, no, Caitlin Clark can't beat them. That's why I just want to see a good game. I want to see how South Carolina's going to play them, because, you know, South Carolina is going to come at her. They're going to come at her, Bob. We're going to see, you know, really, really what she's all about. She can't beat South Carolina, no. Yeah, it's gonna be special. That's gonna be a special game.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm telling you, man. Liv, I've been glued to my couch, man, doing these tournaments, man. I've been glued to it. Now I'm just loving the fact that one, and I know we just talked about this, but one, that the older players are getting the opportunity to get looks and exposing this system of overhyping these young boys like they cold. You know, you don't really start maturing in the game of basketball. Very few people are cold at 19. You could be cold, you know, that's rare. But to be 22, 21, 22, 23, 24, that's when you really like, you hey, man, I'm ready. You know, those are pro ages for me. And if I'm a draft, I'm going to get me a kid 23, 24, 25. I ain't messing with no 19-year-old kid, man. Unless he's 6'9", 6'10", can do it all. KG, a la Marcus Liberty, a la, you know, Antoine Walker, them type of guys. It's tall. This got the package. You're 6'8" already. That's pro.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just I just love the way that the game is getting back to normal again, man.
Right.
What's next for Illinois, though, Liv? What are y'all going to do this year, man?
Let's read this one, and then we get to that.
Okay, back to Wiggins for a second. If the kid's not his, then I see him while he missing games. But if it's just his baby mama, then get back to work. Liv, could you go back to work if your wife did that?
Now, I couldn't, but I don't even know if that's his wife. You know, I don't think that's his wife either. So, but yeah, if that's what happened and he's thinking that the kids is his, then yeah, it's a problem. There's no question about it. That's a problem, right? And no, I wouldn't be able to go back to work if that was the case, right? But like I'm saying, we don't know. We can all speculate and put things out until he comes out publicly and says, this is what happened.
And I wouldn't.
And we all going to keep doing what we doing, like thinking.
I wouldn't even tell it if it was, Liv.
Right.
That's personal.
That's what I'm saying. So I can't, I can't answer that, question because I truly don't know. I'm reading things just like you reading things when I hear things, people say that happened, but you never see me come out publicly and say, this is what happened to this man, because I don't know. I don't know, by you putting that, on our timeline, I just wanted to share that, with our listeners and our audience, and then I'll answer it. If that was the case, yes, he should, do what's best for him, which is if he has to sit out and just get his mind right, then yeah, because I know I would personally be hurt if my wife, had a baby that wasn't mine, a child that wasn't mine, but I'm assuming that it is mine, and it comes out that it's not, then yeah, I have a problem. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, man. Well, it's mama's baby, papa's maybe.
Yeah. So go back to your question. Sure. Go back to your question about Illinois.
Well, yeah, what's next for Illinois? What do we need to do in Illinois, man?
Illinois has everything that most of the blue bloods has. Great facilities, a big fan base, alumni, went to the Final Four, went to a championship game, got the Nike contracts, all the beautiful things, the bells and whistles that every other program that's big has. Now, Coach Underwood has changed his philosophy up from last year. They were actually doing a lot of running, meaning getting up and down the court. He's letting the bigs dribble the ball and this and that. That was his first year doing that. And he probably was uncomfortable doing that because he stopped being him. Right. So I think you need another coach. Maybe it's a younger coach. You give him a little bit more range to do what he needs to do to help, those young, athletes that you recruited. Right. And then you still can be you, but y'all still running the system, right? Whatever the system may be. And I think if they can do that, I think you'll start seeing a change, meaning more wins, with the university. But when you're head coach and you running every single time, everything on the court, the defense, the offense, it's just like in football. When you have a football, coach, you got a football defensive coach, you got an offensive coach, and then you the head coach. You pretty much overseeing all of it, but you're not like taking the reins for them when you on the field. Maybe in the locker room you say, man, maybe we need to change this up a little bit.
So you think he overcoached?
I think it could be. I'm not. I don't know because I'm not in the practices and at the games. But I think Underwood is the right coach. I just think you need more people in your organization, like Tim Anderson. I think Tim Anderson could be a good voice, in that locker room or on that court. And he could be doing that. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. We don't know.
Right.
He could be doing that. But it's going to take some time, right? Because you got to get your assistant coaches used to doing that. So I think next year, man, let's give him next year to see what happens next year. Of course, they're gonna get some more kids out of the transfer portal. We already know that because that's what we living in now. That's
where we at now.
That's where we at. Right. So,
yeah.
so
and they better get older kids because that's what's winning.
Yes, that's what's winning. That's what's winning.
Yeah, man. Look at Drake's whole lineup with 25, 26, 24. That's like that. They older than the OKC Thunder.
Right.
What's going on in Dallas, man? Kyrie Irving and Luca, the games they played together got a losing record. Is the fit wrong and need more time? They like an 11th spot now. I didn't think that would work because you got two guys who are ball stoppers who also don't lock in defensively enough. So when you got two guys that like to score the ball a lot but don't play defense, you got a problem there, man. So it was just a patchwork for Kyrie to get up out of there after this year to get to LA potentially. I don't know. What you say, Marcus?
Yeah, I agree with you. Two guys, not only two guys, but two guys play the same position. 2 point guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
I don't understand. I didn't understand that move, but at first I was like, man, that's cool. But then as I started thinking, I said, man, they both point guards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Luca likes to, you know, have the ball in his hands and make decisions and win and shoot and do whatever he needs to do. And Kyrie Irving is the same type of dude. So they really, actually, they're the same players. You know,
they're the same players.
So when you have that out there on the court, I think it messes up a lot because now Kyrie's in his mind, I'm the point guard. And then Luca get out there and say, no, I'm the point guard. They're not saying it, but you can kind of see it a little bit. Like they try to pick and choose when they want to shoot, when they're not accustomed to that.
And then all the while we trying to figure them two out, little nephew, Tim Hardaway Jr. over there, like, I hope he go to a contender. I would like to see him go back to New York.
Right. Who, Kyrie? Oh, no.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh, okay. Well, his dad is over in New York.
That's what I'm saying. He get back to New York because he a shooter. New York is a shooter away from making some noise, man, in the doggone
you talking about New York
playoffs.
Knicks?
New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bronson got him rolling. Ja Morant is back now. Jay Williams thought he should have had a longer suspension. Was it too short for y'all? First of all, he didn't even do nothing, really. Just flashed a gun in the Instagram video. He didn't run like he pulled a gun out and did it to nobody. He wasn't on the team's facility. He wasn't at the building with it. I didn't see nothing wrong with it, Marcus.
No, it was all political too, meaning Ja came out politically correct because if he says the gun is his, then he's in some trouble because how did you get the gun from one state to another state? So he had to do whatever he had to do to keep himself out of trouble. The question is, who gun was it?
Right.
That's the question we need to be asking. Who gun was it? Because if he says it wasn't his, that means he was with somebody that had that gun, right? Mm-hmm. That he trusts. So I think that's the case. But should his suspension been longer? I think the NBA did their investigation and they found out that it was really nothing, and they let him come back. And he's back being, Ja. He's back doing his what with that dance? You know the dance, Bob, that you like to do when you're at home and you're on TikTok.
The giddy.
The giddy. He's back. But he's also saying something about, what did he say? Something about a parade or something?
It's a parade in my city.
It's a parade in my city.
That's that NBA young boy stuff. I was asking my son, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Right. It's a parade in my city, yeah. That's that young boy stuff, man. That's why, I don't buy into it and go too hard on them young guys too much because I was 21, 22 years old. From what I understand, Ja Morant's dad is 42 years old. Ja Morant is 22 years old. I remember when I was 42, and if one of my sons would have been a $200, $300 million man, I would have been on that floor drinking beers, getting toasty, talking trash, big chain on. Man, let's go, boy. So it's hard to say. And they like he shouldn't be his son's friend. I think it's important that you're your son's friends.
I think you can balance it. I think you can balance it.
Yeah, you can balance it, man. So. Me and my oldest son, Jay Reed, man, that's my dog, man. My boys, we cool because I don't have to get on them no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
I just share what I think and move on, just like you do with Javon. You might not like it, but I'm gonna just share you what I think. And it's up to you to make the decision on what you want to do.
Right.
Keep in mind the mass shootings going on in our society. Just recently, the state of Tennessee experienced a mass shooting yesterday, the same state that Ja plays in. Coincidentally, it happened after Ja issued, but he has many more choices he will have to make. Brandishing a gun shouldn't be one of them. I agree. And rest in peace to those people who lost their lives out there at the schools. I saw it. It was 3 kids and 3 adults, and they really alluded to the fact that it was a transgender who did it. You know, and that because that has never happened. And from information is more. The information is coming out that transgender actually had a connection with the school. So we don't know what happened, but we do know that the transgender was disgruntled. Wow. And took a bad stance, man.
Yeah, because we know, man, we send our children to school to get an education, not to rush up and get out of our jobs and rush up to the school to make sure our babies are okay because of a mass shooting being at the school. And I just think, man, and I hope and pray that we as a society, man, the mental health issues that we have and people, putting other people down. We have to be mindful and careful about what we say and speak. I know that everybody says it's a free, world, a free country that we should be able to say what we want to say when we want to say it. But it tends to hurt some people, when you start attacking certain people, especially with social media the way it is now. You start talking and people mentally probably are not there. And then you say some things and then they have weapons involved or whatever. And it's sad that, some people lost, lives, kids that didn't have nothing to do with whatever they were going through. And to see, even a parent losing a parent, because the head of school, he lost his life, and he had grandkids and kids. So it's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah. And I want to, since we're on these topics, man, because all ball Chicago, we be all over the place. And I want to, what's that? What's the name of that town in Rolling Fort, Mississippi? They had the tornado over there. Yeah, one of my guys was telling me that they live 10 times below the poverty rate. Wow. And I said 10 times below the poverty rate. Because he lives out there in Jackson, he's familiar with it. He was like, Bob, you will not believe it, man. These people are actually 10 times below the poverty rate. So, man, our government and our people, we just need to do a better job, man, of uplifting all people because that's ridiculous, man. I can imagine 10 times below the poverty rate, bro. That means you don't even you barely got running water. So, man, we want to send our prayers out to them people out there, man. Wish y'all a speedy recovery.
Man, definitely, man, because that could have been anybody that we know that got caught up in that tornado and lost their lives, man, because a lot of people did lose their lives in that tornado. But it's sad, Bob, to know that poverty, and people not having the resources and the education to be able to become something more than where they're at. And when we see it and hear it, on the news, and then you have a friend that lives in that area, to see him or hear him say that to you, meaning it's a problem that needs to be talked about, and people need to try to go out and do something about it, And it's well, Bob, somebody has a question for you. Hold on.
I watched the Ben Wilson. Darla Santee, how you doing? I watched the Ben Wilson doc, and I seen that Ben's son died last year. But y'all Chicago folks, do y'all ever see or know what happened to Tom, Ben's baby mama? I'd love to see a now picture of her. You know what? From what I understand, she got remarried and she lived in New York. I don't really know what happened to Jatan. I do know that the stories of having a relationship with the family, that after Ben passed away, she moved out of the state and just wanted to get away from it. Same thing with the mom, Ben's mom. So, yeah, Jatan was a beautiful girl too, man. I remember her in high school. Very beautiful girl.
Yeah, so that's what happened. Yeah, I don't know because I didn't know Jatan at all. So, but yeah, he did lose his son
In a car accident.
Car accident. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to let's give a shout out to Cheryl Cook, man, because she will be inducted to another Hall of Fame.
Shout out to Cheryl
I
Cook,
just saw
man.
her post that, last week. I think she posted last week. So yeah, shout out to her. Also, shout out to our guy from Simeon, Robert Smith. He's retiring. He's stepping down away from Simeon High School. They got all the way to the state championship game, but they just couldn't pull it out for Rob. And that would have been nice for him to end on a state championship, but he got there. So big shout out to Robert Smith, Simeon, very own head coach, and also played for the late, great Bob Hambrick.
Yeah, man. I want to give a shout out to them, man. The way that they play. Because I went to the state tournament. Not the state tournament, but I went to the city tournament. I saw all the games. I saw a lot of the games, right? And I used to give Simeon hell about the way that they played. But when I watched other teams around the state play, they play the same slow down pace game now. It seems to be that style is popular again, Liv, where they spacing the floor, cutting. And ain't no more where you could just give one guy the ball and he just dominate. You know what I'm saying? So these kids are going to have to be coached all over again. Basketball is back again, Liv. You feel me? Remember back in the days, there was one guy just doing everything. And not back in the days, but just recently. So now these kids got to be coached again, man. Because these predominantly white schools are coming out here kicking butt. Liv and Rob, y'all guy Barnes that went to Michigan, put his name in the transfer portal. Can't think of his first name, but y'all had him on the show.
Isaiah.
What kind of school would be good for him? Isaiah Barnes. Isaiah Barnes is a very good kid. He's a very good basketball player. We know his dad very well. And if it was me and that was my son, and I know the range of talent that he had, I would send him somewhere and this is just me. If that was my son, I would send him to Illinois State somewhere and just let him get buckets, man. Just get buckets like Antonio Reeves did. Antonio Reeves caught fire at Illinois State. Get your stock up. He went to Kentucky and did his thing. So I would go somewhere like a mid-major. What you say?
Yeah, he could go play a high major school again. I mean, he could. I mean, it's schools out there I think that will be very interested in him to see, because he had 2 years, at least 2 years up. I think he got a red shirt year back, so it's really 1 year of playing really, but he had a lot of practice with elite talent. So he can go play. He can go play at a school, if not better than Michigan or equal to Michigan. It doesn't matter. I think the transfer portal, that's what helps, you make that decision, right? Look at the rosters, look at, what you want out of it. If you want to try to get to championships and win, or you want to play. Some people, parents and kids, they just want to play. Like, I just want to be on the court. I want to be involved. And I want that opportunity, but most kids want that opportunity, right? They want to have an opportunity to perform. And I think he didn't get that opportunity at Michigan. So let's see what happens. Let's see how it all plays out. And, I love the kid because I got an opportunity to talk to him. And I'm also trying to, talk to his dad and help, they want me to try to help with the situation too. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can, for him.
Well, man, that's one good thing about it, man, when you mentor those young guys, because they need to understand, man, that sometimes, man, you got to go where you want it. Darling, Marcus, your nephew is so fine. He seems so shy. I was at a game. I was shy to go speak. He was alone, too. What's next for him? Will he summer league to get to the NBA?
Yeah, he's definitely definitely got an opportunity to make it at the next level. He's just got to go through the back door. Like I always told him before, you have to go through the back door, but not only go through the back door, you got to go through the back door, but you got to get on the porch first to get to the back door. So get on the porch first. Now the porch is, to me, the G League, which he's in now. So now
he's in.
Kick down. He has to kick down that door to get in there now. So I do see the potential that Javon has. Javon is a elite scorer. He can do it on the defensive. You can do it on the defensive end and on the offensive end. So he's going to get his chance. But yeah, he definitely has to. He's going to have to go through the summer league, another year. But he's ready. We talk all the time. He said, "I'm ready. I'm ready." Here goes another one, Bob. Where is Kendrick Nunn?
I haven't heard much since he left the Lakers. I wondered, did he like his Lakers experience? Kendrick Nunn.
Is he with Washington?
Let me pull him up, man. Because Kendrick Nunn, he left and went playing right away.
I think he's with Washington. I think he's with the Washington Wizards.
Let me pull that up. Why they got him in Miami?
Yeah, I think that's where he's at.
Yeah, it's not showing up. Oh yeah, here with the Washington Wizards. You're right.
Right. So, but I haven't heard of anything that's going on over there. But the Washington Wizards have been playing well lately, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think they've been playing pretty good.
He just need a chance, man. He just need a chance. That's all it is,
Yeah.
Let me see. Last night versus Boston. He played. He ain't really getting that many minutes though. Yeah, he been getting time.
Right.
Shout out to Kendrick, man. Stay the course, man. He just got to get in the right place at the right time. He had 12 last night against Boston. He played 17 minutes.
It's
just timing, man.
Yeah, got to get the opportunity, man.
But before we wrap up, Liv, man, okay. I know we got to get ready to wrap up, man. But before we wrap up, man, I was just looking at. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Damn, oh no, I know what I was finna say.
Hot yogurt.
No, they got that. What do you think about? And I don't know if you had a chance to see it. They got the new movie coming out when Michael Jordan signed.
Oh, Air.
Yeah, Air. And what relationship did Sonny Vaccaro have with that? Did he have anything to do with the influence of the shoe thing with Michael Jordan and all of that? I want to ask you that because somebody told me to ask you about Sonny Vaccaro. They was like, "What do Liv know?"
Sonny Vaccaro was pretty much the king of basketball for Nike, right?
Right.
So he started the grassroots with a partnership with Nike, right? And Nike basically gave him full range of doing things. He got a relationship. He had a relationship with Michael, but Michael was, I want to say, he was a shoe-in with Adidas. I think that's where he was going to go at the time. And then I think Sonny Vaccaro, who had a relationship with him and Howard, who was Michael's right-hand man, and they all sat down and I think they formed that deal. This basically saying that Nike, if you come to Nike and you be who we think you are, we're going to shoot up like a rocket. Everything's going to be just fine. So Michael trusted that, and I think he signed a deal, and we already know that. We all know the rest is history.
The rest is history, boy. You ain't lying.
So
I knew Liv knew the story because Sonny Vaccaro, that's his man.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Sonny on, man, if I can, man. But I'm not gonna promise, we can do it. But I'm definitely gonna try to reach out to Sonny. That's my guy.
Yeah.
This is the end right here.
How's the hot yoga going? You're not squatting with your business in the camera.
We're in on that one, man. Go Go ahead and answer her question.
I just left yoga actually. I go every Wednesday right before we do the show. You know, me and Liv always chop it up before what we're gonna do, and I do hot yoga, and then I come home. But yeah, no business in the camera, man. And I'm your co-host Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the NBA veteran, the McDonald All American. Liv, what you finna be on, man?
Man, Bob, I'm about to, rest, and then I got to get ready for, some kids to do some basketballs, which I love. I love doing basketball, teaching it, and mentoring kids. So, Mika Boo, she said she deleted Chicago Hood page. What is that page?
Oh, she had to. Oh man, that page is bananas, man. Chicago Hood Media. Oh my God.
She said, Robert Reed, I followed that Chicago Hood page and I had to delete it. It was too violent.
Man, bro, I cannot believe some of the stuff it's on Instagram. It's crazy.
Oh, it's not your page.
No, I was telling some people about it, and they was like, because a lot of people like that ratchet stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little ratchet, man.
I never, but this will put it up there. But I never watched it.
Yeah, Mika Boo is definitely too violent, man. I don't even watch it no more, man, because it's just like too much. You see people jumping out of cars, mowing people down. I don't like that. So
wow, okay.
Yep, but I got to get to a meeting by 1:30, man. This was a great show, All Ball Chicago. We'll be back next week. We're going to get Coach Robert Smith on here. Liv going to get Sonny Vaccaro. I'm going to reach out to a few people, man, see if I can get Scottie Pippen because he's been following me on IG. We're going to get Scottie Pippen on here. Watch what I tell you.
Thank all of the beautiful listeners, man.
Thank y'all, man, for watching the show, man. All of y'all, man. I can't call all y'all names because there's way too many of y'all. But thank y'all for watching the show, All Ball Chicago. And Liv, go and get your money, man. Raise kids, man. Peace.
All right. I holla.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching.
Chicago, all ball, Chi-town, all ball, Chicago, all ball, Chi-town, all ball, Chicago.
Town.